Greetings, brothers and sisters. Let's start here with Alec P. Baldwin. Someone's asked the question, when did they add a P? One of the comments, when did Alec Baldwin add a P to his name? I don't know. We should do some investigation. Rush shooting, sheriff says Alec P. Baldwin is an active part of this investigation. And so the issues here are whether they've targeted him or not, and what what they would be distracting from if they did. But either way, it's kind of over for him. He's already in these crappy movies. His wife's scandal and just, the whole bad Trump impersonation. And Alec is done one way or another. I don't think he's going to jail, but, we'll see. If he is, it's probably pre-planned. And there's this from the New York Post, in hiding. There's some photos coming out. There he is. There in his cowboy outfit, and the woman who got shot. Baldwin seen in off the beaten path locale, as cops say they're not exactly sure where he is. Baldwin was spotted in October 24th in an off the beaten path location in an unidentified part of New England. It's not that big there. And then here it is here. Baldwin spotted family in New England, but cops not exactly sure where he is. Same article. Posted on TMZ, I guess. And so, this story's not going away anytime soon. Hilaria, his wife, Hilaria Baldwin. If you feel like you don't fit into the world you inherited, it's because you were born to help create a new one. Ross Caligula. So a bunch of my Instagram friends have also subscribed to Hilaria for some reason. There they are, the loving couple. All these very posed pictures. This posed picture she's got. They have a professional cameraman on staff at the Baldwin residence. She is over here with the kids. All these things, I showed that one already. Here he is. This is him. Look at him. Told you I was going to marry a cowboy soon. Yeah, he's already won a gunfight. He's the fastest draw on a Hollywood B-movie set. And there's his kids. There's a kid wearing a mask. Their kid. Okay, so this is what she said. My heart is with Halyalina, her husband, her son, their family and loved ones, and my Alec. It's said there are no words because it's impossible to express the shock and heartache of such a tragic accident, heartbreak, and loss, support. Well, this one, there are no words. Well, there's words. There's words like cucumber. There's words like fraud. I mean, there are words. Katie Couric, holding Halia, her family, and Alec and his friends in our hearts. Melanie Griffiths, sending love to all, holding you all in my heart. Our hearts are broken along with yours. A broken heart is something that can't be repaired. In fact, hearts don't break, right? I mean, that's what people don't understand about hearts, the heartfulness system, the etheric heart, that hearts don't break, right? They're resilient on an etheric level. Of course, you can have a heart attack on a physical level. That's a broken heart, like Dick Cheney. But your heart shouldn't break. Your heart is made to feel pain. There's pain in your heart for being the separation between you and God. There's a deep pain in everyone's heart, a longing to be one with God again. The separation, the pain of being separated from someone you love. And so what they're talking about is the pain of your heart, right? Not that it's broken, that your heart, which is a loving instrument, longs to be with the people you love and the ultimately God, a longing to be with the lover, the beloved longing to be with the lover. And so it doesn't break. It's just a stupid, American thing. People have trust issues and they experience the pain of love and they're like, I don't want to experience that again. These are all checked people. I don't know who they are, but they're famous. Melody, Peaceful Barb, and they get into just ordinary folk. Anyways, that's Hillary Thomas Baldwin. And then this one, Huma Abedin says a new book that U.S. Senator sexually assaulted her. Was it Hillary? Long time they didn't name the senator or his party. Who said it was a he? The Guardian reports this is sexist because it could be Hillary. This is, she worked for Hillary for years. Jerry O'Connell totally wimped out in confrontation with Kourtney Kardashian.
There was a very expensive Bentley. I don't even know if it was a Bentley, a Phantom. It was some expensive, huge car.
He doesn't know what the car. He doesn't know about expensive cars. Jerry O'Connell. He's got the biggest mouth in Hollywood.
And it was taking up about 3 spaces. And
that Bentley was taking up too many spaces, 3 of them.
I was with my 2 kids, and I was like, this is disgusting. Look at how rich people just take up all these spaces. They have no regard for.
Dude, are you on hard times? Like, I thought you worked for The View. What are they paying over at The View, bro?
For us regular people. And then
you're a regular person.
Recently engaged, congratulations, Kourtney Kardashian came out and was.
Kourtney, oh, look at this. Woo! Look at this. This is a hot gossip right here. Look at his mouth is wide open. Kourtney Kardashian, that kind of star power.
Was like, hi, Jerry. And I was like, oh my gosh, Kourtney, how are you? Oh my gosh, it's so good to see you. Congratulations. And I kissed her. And then I got in the car with my kids and they were.
And the kids were like, what?
Like, why did you say anything about our parking? And I was like, you two shut up.
Exactly. Take it out on your kids. He likes it. You guys are wonderful Hollywood celebrities. You got to bow in front of those Kardashians. They're mega stars. Kimmel taunts Tucker Carlson with a mock honor that could haunt him forever. I don't think so. One thing is, one of my commenters said this, I was talking about with my wife. It seems like people I've really sort of gone in on, like, Ellen and now Alec Baldwin and some of these other things and institutions have, I don't know if it's just coincidence. I'm not claiming any, sort of, but they've fallen on hard times. A variety of these people Full House people, I mean, all those Full House guys have suffered. I don't know. And so, one person that I've, really disliked, because some of the celebrities I like covering more than others. There's people like Kanye, like Don Pettit, the guy who's an astronaut, who just, I kind of, they're not, like, I have, like, some level of, I don't know, positivity and affection for them, even though they're Hollywood celebrities. They're lighter than other ones, and, I want good things to happen to them. But there are these guys who are just gatekeepers and just kind of evil, and Jimmy Kimmel's at the top of the list. So he avoided being canceled. He went on vacation when he was being criticized for being in blackface twice, and then that whole misogynistic man show that he had. So he's had some, like, a couple of lives, but if this was one guy that should go down, this gatekeeper, because he's just horrible. He sucks as a comedian. He's mean-spirited. He encourages parents to take Halloween candy away from their kids and cause them to cry and laughs about it. And just a number of those things. That's just one of many of his, things he gets people to do that's evil. Just a, devilish, evil, demonic MNFer. And, this guy, if anybody should go down, it's him. But here he is trying to make fun of Tucker Carlson. Again, I'm not a Fox News or Tucker Carlson person. Tucker Carlson's a little bit better than a lot of these mainstream, shills, but he's still on Fox, right? Anyways, this guy tries to get him, but it's so lame.
And even though Trump announced we'd rounded the corner more than a year ago, and his Fox friends enthusiastically agreed, actually, he infected his inner circle and vice versa with COVID. Some people...
And they all survived it, right? Like, nobody died. It's COVID. It sucks. I mean, I had it. It sucks. I'm not minimizing how bad it sucks because it's maybe, I don't know, a bioweapon or something. Who knows, right? I mean, that's what I would think it is. But he survived, right? You're still talking about him, too. I mean, it's just their obsession with him.
like Tucker Carlson, are still working hard to criticize Joe Biden for the way he's handling this.
Did you see that? Did you see what just happened? That was a crime caught on film.
My God, he's right. For a minute there, I thought we were watching an episode of Cops. There was a crime.
He's referring to the hypocrisy, right? And his jokes are so lame. Like, he just doesn't do it. He's not funny. He's not funny. The jokes suck, and he sucks at delivering them. I mean, it's just, it's horrible.
Someone stop that maniac before he kills again. And it only got tuckier from there.
It's just like, it's not funny. It's not a good insult. It's not a good, it's just stop.
To grow the middle class, to make sure everyone's included on the deal. The kinds of investment that will stimulate the economy.
This guy, how could you look at this guy, anybody who's a Joe Biden fan or just, Trump's worse, look at this guy and have any faith in our country or democracy or any of it. There's not one positive thing about Jojo Magoo. Like, I might go back and do that speech again, but it's just like, it's just been accepted that someone who's been a career hack his whole life, just the worst of the worst. Nobody wanted him or thought of him as presidential. Like, he ran 3 times and he pulled under 1% each time, went down in scandal, got caught lying, got caught snoozling and groping. They're all making fun of him. Late night comedians and CNN were all making fun of this guy. Didn't want him to run. They picked Hillary over him. And Hillary's like the most unlikable candidate in history. And they picked Hillary. They pushed him out and said, we want Hillary. He was the vice president under Obama. And he had the best way, he was the best candidate to sort of use Obama's, coalition and organization and keep that going. But they chose Hillary over him. CNN and late night comedians, they were told, hammer Joe Biden, and there was so much to hammer. And then 4 years after that, he's 78 now, and he's mentally breaking down. So he was never good, but now he's worse. And, you can see it in every moment. Like, he's not, you wouldn't trust this guy to do anything. You wouldn't trust him to cut your lawn. You wouldn't trust him to scrub your toilets. I mean, he's not mentally there. You wouldn't trust him to drive your kids, drive a bus or something. And he's president, right? Like, and I know they're like, well, he's got his handlers and, he at least plays the game the way Trump didn't. Not that Trump was great. Trump wasn't great. Trump was a nightmare. And, now it's all coming around, all the stuff that Trump did. Like, Trump set all this stuff up, right? Trump put all this stuff up on a tee for these guys. But in terms of, like, Jojo Magoo, it's the same delusionary aspect of Trump supporters that you have to, like, suppress your ability to read people and see what's going on to accept Joe Biden as a good person and a good president. Like, he's horrible. He's not even good at acting, right? And he's just an absolute mess.
No one from the CDC arrested Joe Biden that day. No one ever will. The people who make the rules don't have to follow them.
Yeah, good one, Tuck. Where are those CDC police when you need them to arrest?
Look at these guys. Look at these guys. Like, just why would you even think that's a joke? That's not a joke. Like, he's horrible. Like, you guys are the kings of hypocrisy.
What a soppy bag of phlegm he is. Can we?
Soppy bag of phlegm. Woo! Soppy bag of phlegm. Woo!
They call women Karens. Can we call men, male Karens, Carlsons from now on?
That's a last name. It's not equivalent. You say Tucker. You could call him a Tucker, but that means something else, doesn't it? Like, you can't use that. Tucker would be the joke there. Not a good one, but you even got that wrong. Like, you just mocked him for saying that, the CDC has police, which is, obviously not true. The CDC doesn't have police yet or whatever. But then you're trying to make a Karen joke, and a Karen's a first name, and Carlson's a last name. And so, like, no one's going to do that. And it's just a bad joke, right? Tucker is more truthful or honest than he is. But he can't say Tucker because it has another derogatory term. It's a derogatory term for a protected group, right? And so, like, that wasn't a joke. Like, you're throwing that one out. Like, you couldn't use his first name. It wasn't a good joke. You're like, oh, we got to solve this joke. And so we use a last name, even though Karen's a first name. Like, this is just how lame he is and all these other guys.
Trump's former top COVID advisor.
He's talking about Trump again. Like, he talks about Trump every night. He talks about Trump more than Trump talks about Trump. And he's such a horrible person. Like, he's just, I mean, all the stuff that he's done, and a gatekeeper. And so if anybody needs to go, it's him. I mean, this guy is just some sort of demonic force for anti-comedy on late night TV, where all the late night hosts are not funny. Stephen Colbert, I don't know who's worse, right? Jimmy Fallon with his weakness, Stephen Colbert with his unbelievably stiff delivery and bad jokes, or this guy who's like almost sucks the funny out of everything he touches and just is mean-spirited and kind of evil. I mean, it's just, those are your late night comedians. Think about it. Like, how bad is that when these guys are supposed to make you laugh and feel good, and they're just, the opposite of funny. Speaking of not funny, here's Boris Johnson. These are kids. He's at 10 Downing Street, so he's in his, prime minister house. And he decided to go here.
Just 3% is left for the wild. So
how sad.
Do we start to rebalance it? And I think we certainly could start by rewilding our oceans. There's a lot of space to do that.
We could feed some of the human beings to the animals.
Well,
wait, what did you just say to a bunch of kids? This is, about, I don't know, nature stuff. And he just said this.
I think we certainly could start by rewilding our oceans. There's a lot of space to do that.
We could feed some of the human beings to the animals. That would, couldn't we? That would be.
We could have a vote later and ask if there's any candidates. But certainly.
And he's going to say that's a joke, but, brah, it's crossing a line. And the kids aren't laughing because,
We need to take our responsibilities seriously.
We do.
And help bring nature back. Because when you give nature the chance, it will recover. It regenerates very, very quickly indeed.
It does. It does.
Once you get rid of people, I mean, it's kind of a truth that people are, wrecking the world and whatever it is, right? Not only on a physical level, but all of it. But, brah, I'm glad he said it's kind of funny. So we're kind of in a time, we're in a time where we're just waiting for the next bad thing to happen, right? This is a time of loss. Like at the end of your life, or you'll see this in businesses, or just when something's in the back end of it, right? You reach your peak physically when you're in your 20s, maybe 30s for some people, whatever it might be. And then you get into your 40s and, where I am now, and you just start losing things. Like you get better, like you could get sick or you could get hurt and then you get better, but you're never quite as good as you used to be. And when you get older, it's even worse. When people are in the death cycle, it speeds up and then, you have moments of remission, periods where things get better for a little bit, and then the next bad thing happens, right? It's like when you have a car that's that just doesn't want to work anymore, but you can't afford to buy a new car, whatever reason you have for keeping the car. You just keep on fixing it, and you realize you had enough money all along because you're putting so much money every month into fixing something, and then all the inconvenience of breaking down when you're on your way to work or whatever it might be. And so the car just isn't running. You fix one thing and then another thing goes. It's like planned obsolescence. And that's what's going on with our society and our world and our culture. It's collapsing and things are, it goes back, gets a little bit, gets better than it was, but not as good as it was before. And then there's the next bad thing. It takes everyone down to another level. And they're rolling this out purposefully, but it's happening for a divine reason. So it's not something that can be controlled. Both sides are trying to blame the other side and, whatever those sides are, it's always, going to be like that, divide and conquer. And, everybody thinking that the people that control the system are to blame, but it is a collective failure of an unnatural system that's demonic in nature that's collapsing around us. And we're just waiting for the next thing, right? You're just waiting for the next bad thing to happen, right? And it's like getting the bill for bad living. Like you smoke cigarettes and then you get the bill, right? You get, lung cancer, whatever it is, emphysema. You eat carcinogens or, unhealthy foods, and then you get the heart disease or the cancer or whatever it might be. And so, we're getting the bill now for wrong living in a system that was bad and against the will of God and nature, at least in terms of being unnatural and egotistical, an ego-based system. And this is what it looks like when it collapses, and people have to come to terms with this. Like, what are you going to do when it collapses? Are you going to stick around? Are you going to, try to fight through it? I mean, most people's entire life is tied to the system. I mean, this is, for me, the heartfulness meditation will be better in a post-collapse situation. It's easier to meditate when there's no Wi-Fi, when there's no, all these things. It's more peaceful, so it's easier to connect to God. And so my spiritual goals are still achievable, in fact, more achievable once the system collapses. And so I have that. And growing food and some of the other things we're doing, building a homestead, which is fun. And so some of these things, are actually going to be better. So I have things that I can look forward to, even as an older person, my wife and I or whatever. And on the other side of the collapse. But most people will have nothing. They'll have zero when the collapse happens. And they're bankrupt inside. Like they have no life force or energy to start something new. They don't have any skills. They're not really likable. God doesn't even want them around. Right? Like they've been marked for extinction. So, it's a matter of people choosing. Like instead of getting caught up in watching the collapse and, focusing on it in some serious way, you have to start thinking, this is the idea of pockets of the future. Start creating a pocket of the future. Some place where you can, be a part of the rebuilding and the saving of, whatever's left of humanity. Again, you can choose out. You can choose out any time, right? You can always say, it's too hard or whatever. But why not give yourself a shot and your family a chance to, do something on the other side? You might like it better. It might be better post, demonic system collapsing. At least for some people it will. And that's, that'll be determined after the collapse. But right now you can see the writing on the wall. We're just waiting for, what's the next bad thing? Only spirituality will save this world. It's paramount, definitely important for the apocalypse and the ascension. Everyone have a blessed day and be grateful.